And that is so awesome that we have someone on here, I mean, who really, was right at the pinnacle of when it was getting started. I mean, you like you said, the first year that they had figure, you turned pro in it. And I mean, how do you think, because you're getting back into it now, how has the figure class changed from when you first got your pro card to where it is now? Because it has changed drastically.
Well, figure back in the day was the bikini now. Um, so because you had fitness and figure and bodybuilding, those were your options as a female to compete in bodybuilding. Um, a lot of women were that most women don't have a gymnastics or dance background. They were going to figure. So there was 28 in my class when I turned pro, including me, which is a lot. And the main focus was figure. The main focus now is bikini because it's super, super saturated. And the physiques in like pro bikini are very reminiscent of the physiques that were pro figure back in the day, except for the posing. So for me, it'll be interesting to see if I can get my body to be, somewhere near what the physiques are looking these days. Because back in the day, they didn't want to see that deep separation and the striations in the muscle, and they didn't like the overly muscular physique in figure.
Yeah. And I mean, it really has changed so much. And how have you adapted your workouts to adjust to that? Because like you said, it is a little bit more muscular and you need to have more striations. How has your training differed from when you were younger and starting out?
Um, Training, I always did my own training. Um, Mostly, I did back in the day. I worked with Kimoto. He basically pretty much did my diet, and I just pretty much did my training. Um, I knew if I was ever going to come back, that I was going to work with the best team ever. I mean, I've been following this team for a while. Pro Physiques, Whitney Jones, Miss Fitness Olympia, is my coach. And obviously, I picked the best for my posing coach because it's like almost starting over. So I have Sydney Gillen, a Miss Figure Olympia. She is my posing coach. I knew that if I was going to come back and I was going to try to make a push just to be my best, that I was going to need the best team, and I think that with the way they do things, that I'm on the right track. Back in the day, our diet was very very strict, and we were a lot of times starving in the shows. And I ended my career with a really bad relationship with food, and I gained a bunch of weight. I was very I didn't want to go to the gym, didn't want to work out. I just didn't want to be there. I was super burnt out, and I did 4 shows at the end of my career. Uh, and it took my body a year for me to, in my mind, a year just to be like, no, I can't have. I don't want that food. Like instead of just eating it, it's almost like I felt like dieting like that back in the day was very close to having like an eating disorder. It just messed up your mind. It was very like this. And now with the way I'm prepping, and I started with a little off season time to have Whitney, really shape my body and get my calories really, really, really high. So when I tell people my low carb days, they're like, "That's a lot of food." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, they have my metabolism in a beautiful place, and I never got to diet with macros before. So I got way more flexibility with what I can eat, and it makes me like look at food as I have goals, but and I know you'll always be there, not like I'm not like salivating over food all the time, because it gets more flexibility with my diet, and my body's responding. And the beauty of not having to do 2 hours of cardio, and the maximum amount of cardio I'm doing now is like 25 minutes, um, is just tremendous. I'm a mom, so I don't have like 5 hours in the day to just kill at the gym. My kids play sports, and I am just so blessed to have Pro Physiques as my team for this prep and for the next show as well.